Why is it that a good Betfair trading strategy would start to turn bad? Why is it that something that's been winning could then start to lose? Well, to the uneducated people out there, they may not understand that this is actually a very natural phenomenon that would happen with a Betfair trading strategy due to statistics. I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain how. And by the end of this video, you're going to totally get it. And you're also, I think, going to understand why we're not a tipping service, why we don't believe in them, and why we actually give you the tools via software to create your own strategies so that you have something unique to work with. Okay, so we're heading over to Betfair, and I'm going to show you exactly why a good strategy can turn bad, even if it isn't necessarily a bad strategy now. And that's what's interesting here. Now, a good strategy could turn bad just because it's turned bad and the selections are bad. That's fine. But there's also another phenomenon. And one of the things is that we share a lot of strategies. And one of the things we've noticed is that often when you share a good strategy, as soon as people start lumping on it, it starts to struggle. And there's a statistical reason for this. And the kind of foundational statistics behind that is this simple fact that if people are taking advantage of this edge, they're actually pushing the price out. The more money in a market backing something, the more the price will come in. The more money laying something, the more it will drift. And that's kind of the natural order of things. And that's problematic, and I'll show you why. Let's go to the Crystal Palace Everton game. Now, if I'm tipping a match tonight and I'm looking at this FA Cup tie that's going on tonight, there's plenty of liquidity in the market, okay? It's not massive liquidity, only 83 grand, but still a decent level of liquidity. And you're not going to have a problem. If you want to get, let's look at the draw here, right? If I wanted to get 500 on, there's no problem, right? There's 3 grand here. It's ready to back. There's 4 grand to lay. I'm not going to have a problem backing or laying. And it also, my back or lay bet is not going to affect this market. And even if I tip the draw here and a few people back it or a few people lay it, it's not going to influence the price too much because there's a lot of money that needs to go to make the odds move. Okay, so if you're sharing advice on this match, it's not massively problematic. It's not going to have a long-term problem. The problem is, when you have a football strategy, invariably, a lot of the selections for it aren't going to be in the A1 leagues like, this is an FA Cup game, but for all intents and purposes, this is similar to a Premier League match, right? So this isn't a top-flight English game, essentially. There's going to be liquidity. But let's say we go to more obscure leagues. Let's look at some of the games from today. And as we scroll down, it gets kind of more and more obscure. But let's go to the Israeli League at Aleph, right? Now I might have a selection here and I might go, well, here's a selection. I want you to lay Hapoel Herzliya, right? Instantly, you've got a problem. You look here and you go, well, hang on. There's hardly any liquidity here, only £761 match. But there's a bigger problem than that. Because let's say I think 1.87 is a decent lay price. Look at the gap between 1.78 and 1.87. Really, the true odds are probably closer to 1.8 on this market. But if I want to lay right now and I want to guarantee I get matched, I have to lay at 1.87. What happens when I want to lay for 100 quid? Well, only 9 quid is going to get taken at 1.87. £91 of my money is stuck, either hoping to get those odds, or I have to move up and go to 1.9, 1.91. You see the problem? Suddenly my value is diminishing because I'm laying at bigger odds. And suddenly any edge I do have is just getting taken away. Here's the bigger problem, because that's problem enough, right? But here's the bigger problem. What happens when John, Jack and James all start trying to lay this as well? Suddenly, we're all laying this for 100 quid. The price is drifting. And I see this happen time and time again, where I look at the price of something, I go and get a drink, I come back, and the price has drifted. Because everyone's trying to get on it because they know it's a good lay opportunity. Hey, look, the strategy you've shared does really well. I'm going to lay it. And as they do so, they move the price out. So what happens is that a bet that I would have easily got matched at this price, let's say 1.87, as the example here, suddenly I'm having to take 1.9, 1.91, 1.92 because the price is moving out. And the point is this. When you're talking about Betfair trading, you want to think about the value of the odds. So when I'm laying, I want to be laying at value odds. Now, if the price is moving out and I'm laying, that means I'm getting less value for my lay. If the price is coming in when I'm backing, I'm getting less value for my back. And that is very simply, guys, why a winning strategy can unravel and derail when lots of people follow it, because they're all trying to get in on the same thing. This is why a lot of tipsters, and what I've noticed is a lot of tipsters will tell you to bet with bookies, especially horse racing, get the early prices, get on with bookies. Problem is, that doesn't last. Bookies stop giving those odds. Bookies will limit your accounts. And the early prices are very difficult to get a hold of. Same on Betfair. The money in the early prices is very limited on horse racing. So what will happen is that one person might get that bet, but as soon as the other 100 people who are trying to back it try, the price is gone. They have to take a worse price. Price starts coming in and in and in. Suddenly the last person who bets on it might be getting no value, because the odds have come in so far that it's gone from being a good value bet to a poor value bet. And that's how the statistics, that's how value works on Betfair trading. So food for thought, guys, food for thought. There's a reason that strategies that do well can struggle if lots of people try and get on them. And especially in these lower liquidity markets. Like I say, it might be fine if we go back to the Palace game. It might be fine on Palace Everton, because there's loads of money in this market. Look, even now on back in Palace, there's £1,000 at 2.7. You're not going to have a problem getting that price. And even if you put your 100 in, it's not going to move the needle. But on the lower liquidity market, it moves the needle massively. And it causes a big problem. So what is our solution? Because you might say, Martin, you're just creating problems and all I want to do is get better at Betfair trading. Don't we all? Here's a solution. Betfair Trading Community has solved this because we provide you software to create your strategy, to save your strategy, to get your selections, to create something unique. We give you the tools with software that you can make your own strategy. You're not relying on me. You're not trying to copy me. You're not getting diminished value because, hey, I got my bet on at 6 a.m. and you got yours on at 7 a.m. You're creating your own strategy, your own bet, and no one else is going to be trying to steal in on that. And there's power in that, guys. Honestly, this is why I don't like tipping. I don't like tipping services. This is why. Diminished returns, diminished value. But we've solved this. And you have the tools now that you can create the strategy that does well on Betfair Trading. Now the question is, will you do it? Because it's up to you now. And you have that opportunity. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's educated some of you who are uneducated and don't understand why a good strategy can turn bad. If you've enjoyed this video, can you say the word strategy? And that will let me know that you've enjoyed the video and that you want videos like this in the future. And most importantly, as ever, I hope you have a great week and make some money trading on Betfair.